Before we talk about the actual matches, I wanted you guys to talk a little bit briefly about Vancouver and what it is that you thought about Vancouver and what you would recommend, what your recommendations would be for people traveling to a different country to go to a show. I know a lot of people go here in the States sometimes, maybe even out of state. What would you guys recommend to somebody going out of country to watch a show? Let's start with Aaron.
I mean, traveling for WWE shows for me is like a dream come true because as a kid, watching pay-per-views or even ordering pay-per-views for me was like something that wasn't attainable at the time. But like now going being able to travel to WrestleManias, PLEs out the country for me is just pretty cool. And in Vancouver, I told Omar when we were at the airport coming back, like I fell in love with the city.
What did you like about the city?
Just how easy it is to get around just on
Yeah.
the train and even the buildings. Something I noticed too, how everything's just completely the same. Something that I've never seen.
All right, man. Well, what do you think, Omar? What's your experience, your Vancouver experience here?
Yeah, that was one of the most beautiful cities I've ever had the privilege of traveling to. Just like Aaron said, like the accessibility of being able to get everywhere via the train and walking, like was amazing. Like that was my first experience being able to just like literally walk through an entire city from like from north south to west and like crossing bridges and all of that and feeling completely safe and feeling completely brave enough to do that. So that was a really cool experience and something that like just infrastructure wise I wish every city had. But just traveling for a WWE show in itself was like Aaron said again, like a dream for me. Like I never pictured that I would be traveling specifically to go watch a WWE show, especially a pay per view live event. Like I remember, like my brother mentioned a little bit ago, like it was a big deal getting a WrestleMania and being able to watch that with a pay per view live event. I never once imagined like I would one day be in a crowd for that. Especially a Survivor Series, because I don't think I ever ordered a Survivor Series ever. It was only WrestleManias that we ever really got. So yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, and you did mention, was this your first pay-per-view, Omar?
Yeah, this was my first pay per view live. I'd only been to like a few live shows. I think my first one was this past year or two. I had been to a house show apparently that I didn't know was a house show. I thought it was super cool. That Weddle actually took me to. We saw Kane and Carlito when they're in their prime, so that shit was cool. But yeah, that was my first pay per view live event, and hopefully my second one is gonna be in Mania this year.
And Aaron, how many PLEs have you gone to?
I want to say around 6 or 5.
Iralo.
Yeah, yeah. I've been traveling.
How many WrestleManias?
I've been to 3 in a row, and then next year's gonna be my fourth.
Sheesh, too easy. All right, so let's talk about the matches here. Let's start with the opener: Team
Oh,
Rhea versus Team Liv. What was that, Aaron?
we're not gonna tips or
Oh
like
yeah. What tips do you have for travelers, people looking to go abroad,
I
or
got
even just to a WrestleMania show in a different city, a
I
different
got
state?
two.
What's up?
Save up and advance at least a year in advance,
uh
and plan/book early too. It makes life much easier and
when you
cheaper.
when you say book, you mean flights and like
Flights, hotels, if you need to rent a car, book all of that. Like I booked the Airbnb for Mania, I want to say 4 months ago.
okay.
Yeah, so we have that taken care of. And then obviously saved up for tickets because this year there were fucking 2 legs and an arm. So
All right,
save and book in advance.
all right, Omar. What are your tips?
Um, that because it's like Aaron said, saving it's incredibly pricey in a way that you don't like really imagine. Um, but also like number two, just remember to enjoy like the moment. And like it's always, especially with just any like type of content, like it's always like easy to be negative and be like, oh, I was like expecting The Rock, or I was expecting like John Cena to show up. But it was just dope to be a part of that PLE and to be part of a international crowd and those type of things. So just the second tip, I guess, would be to stay positive and enjoy the experience. As corny as that sounds.
And when you say experience, do you mean the entirety of it all? You mean
Yeah,
the flight,
everything,
getting
bro.
there?
Yeah, the food, like the different like currency, like the different
The,
crowds when you're there, like
getting lost in the city.
getting lost. Yeah, your phone dying, like those, like it's like those type of things. You're watching the Niners lose in a Canadian bar while you're like down
Drunk as
bad,
fuck.
and while your parlay is not working, and
Oh my god.
while it's been pinned since 12 p.m. Like like it's
Your fantasy team loses.
yeah, like enjoy it all, soak it all in, and like because that's what it's all about, and that's what makes like it's not only the show itself, like the 4 hours, it's everything else.
It's the process, right?
Uh,
All right, so let's get down to the matches. Let's start out with the opener. Team Rhea or Team Rhea?
yeah.
Rhea versus Team Liv. We have Team Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Evo Sky, Bailey, and Naomi versus Team Liv. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Um, give us a quick recap of the match.
So it started off pretty slow, because everyone's favorite Nia Jax was one of the starters. So it took a little bit of pickup.
My favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Uh,
Amazing chair shots.
Amazing, yeah. So it just like every War Games match, in my opinion, it takes a little bit of pickup because of the nature of it.
And
Um,
because the match doesn't officially start till all five competitors from each team is in the match, so all the cool spots don't happen till everybody's in the ring.
and
Okay.
what I will say, if we're recapping like the beginning segment of it, one of the things that I don't know if I was a fan of, was the toilet head, little thing. Yeah,
So let's see.
not a huge fan of that. I won't put too much moments on that more than I need to, but there's other weapon choices that probably could have been more tasteful. Outside of that, like I think when everyone like once those moments were out and like more people started coming in, like Candice LeRae and those type of people, I think they did a lot of cool spots, like the one that's on the picture right now, on the slide, kind of like a lot of tag team spots and technical wrestling with the chairs and those type of things. So I thought that was cool.
You
What
guys want
stands
to
out
talk to us about that slide? Go ahead, Aaron.
what stands out to me is like women matches in general is like very hard hitting. Like they don't pull any punches, even with like chairs and candlesticks. Like they go all out.
Well, that's why I wanted you guys to talk a little bit about this picture. I don't know what this move is. What is this move called?
It's a double power bomb to, I don't know, a fucking kneeling opponent. I don't know if there's a specific name for this.
It's just a power bomb
It's
onto
just
Yeah,
another
putazos
human.
or what?
yeah, bro. And
All right.
but like that goes to exactly what Aaron was saying. Like this is probably just like a random like time holder spot, bro. That's not even the main spot of the match. And like it looked like the bumps that they're taking are fucking crazy. Like all of them, all four of them that are taking the bump are like fucking cornerstones of fucking women's wrestling and just wrestling in general right now, bro. Like Bianca's a fucking multiple time world champ. Fucking Bailey is a fucking like literally from San Jose and is one of the four horsewomen. Io Sky is the best in my opinion right now, and Naomi has been a multiple world champ too. So
Well, go ahead, Aaron.
And also, like, there wasn't a lot of build up to this match. Like, it wasn't officially announced till like a week before, so they they didn't have like the luxury of like a storyline. So what they replaced it with was with big spots, cool spots. Like one that I'm thinking of was that chair bridge they built where Candice LeRae did the backflip onto, I think was Bailey. So yeah,
Oh, I
a
wanted
lot
to
of cool
ask you guys.
spots.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys about that. So two things. what do you think was a favorite spot? I know, Aaron, you have the chair spot. Um, and then two, how did the stadium or the fans receive this match?
So I like the best spot of this match is probably everyone's favorite spot, which was the double trash can moonsault to the Tiffany Stratton swanton. That was like incredibly amazing, and I think the stadium reacted just how you expect it. Like it popped off, and we were all fucking going crazy to it. But yeah, I'll let Aaron answer it too.
Yeah, it set the tone. Like I said earlier, like it was hard hitting with a lot of cool spots. So the crowd obviously likes that. Pulling out weapons and chanting "We want tables." So when they see that, it just hypes the crowd up and makes the match 10 times better.
And then can you guys, Aaron, can you talk to us a little bit about how the match ended? I don't know the names, but I remember it was like a finisher, right? Onto a chair. Like what happened?
Yeah, I was onto a table. So I think Rhea Ripley was on the post and Liv Morgan and it hooked her for the riptide and onto the a table. Cool spot, and that's how she got the dub.
And it was actually
Riptide.
pretty cool
Rip,
because Liv
mhm.
was like she had tried to hit her finisher off of it, and then Rhea reversed it into the Riptide.
And the Riptide is one of their finishers.
It's Rhea Ripley's
Okay.
finisher.
Yeah, I thought that was a good finisher. I thought that was a good way to end the match. It was full of activity. I didn't enjoy Nia Jax so much. She was trying to be the villain, and I just thought that everyone else was, all the other performers were like throwing hands and they were putting it all out there. And I felt like she was just a shade or two, not a shade or two. She wasn't at their level. She wasn't at their level. She wasn't meeting it. And so I actually really enjoyed this match. And I like what you said, Aaron, that this was a tone setter. I wonder if that's why they have them first, because
Yeah,
they go hard.
yeah. It's the second year
Hmm.
they start off the PLE with the women's War Games match.
Any closing thoughts on this match?
For me, just Io Sky is a fucking goat as always. Every single woman in this match showed up, had beautiful spots, had a lot of moments for themselves. So, and just I would say it probably this War Games, this first match is I would say arguably better than the main event. Just in terms of like technical wrestling, just crazy spots, just overall.
And what about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Again, the spots. I'm a sucker for crazy spots. So any match with cool spots and tables and chairs and trash cans, I'm gonna love it.
So spots are like what would how would you define a spot? Like
A spot, like the finisher, like the riptide off the table, or
yeah,
the moonsault onto the chair bridge of chairs that they made.
that's pretty crazy. uh, eh, okay, all right. Well, I guess, are you guys ready to move on to the next match?
Yeah.
Let's
LA
go.
Knight versus Shinsakwe Nakamura.
Aaron's already falling
Shinsuke.
asleep, bro. I seen him lean back. This is Aaron's favorite match. He was like, I'm asleep,
Hey, if y'all
bro.
don't got anything to say about this match, we could just skip it, bro. That's part of it.
Now
This
let's
is
talk
your
about it.
Nah,
show.
let's talk about Aaron's ready, bro.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
Let's
it.
All right, Aaron, what's going on, boss? Let's just roll with it. Let's see what happens. What's going on? Are you rubbing your temples already?
That's just so underwhelming because LA Knight is super over and gets a big pop, and then I have nothing against Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm a big fan of Shinsuke Nakamura, but he appeared 2 weeks before the pay-per-view or PLE, and there was no really big storyline behind it, and just the match in general just not great. I was on my phone, to be honest. I didn't even see the finish.
and we're there live, bro.
Yeah, we
Like
were there
we're
live.
like
What do you think, Omar?
I look, I thought it was a snooze fest too. Those are actually Aaron's words, to be exact.
Snooze fest, yeah.
That it
Put it
was
in
a
the chat.
snooze fest. But for me, what I had predicted prior to this match and what I wanted and what saved this match was that Shinsuke went over, and that he won the title, mostly just because he had been getting like hella L's this entire year, before he took like a vacation, and he just needed like a match to like kind of like put him like as a respectable heel. I thought like ending LA Knight's reign was pretty cool, and hopefully it makes Shinsuke have some good matchups in the future.
Oh, that's my other problem. What? Taking the title off LA Knight after a year and a half of work that he put in just to lose it to someone that just came back 2 weeks ago.
And,
Again, don't have nothing against Shinsuke, but it just to me it made zero sense.
and I would agree that like why give LA Knight such a short reign, but then give a whack ass guy like Logan Paul like a long reign with the title? You get me? But unless
Yeah.
they're gonna trade it off, but I agree with that.
Say that I don't remember this match. Like I don't. I did want
No
to
one
ask.
does.
No, there's no reason.
What did you? I know you guys didn't like the match. What did the people around you? How did they see it? What did you sense from the stadium?
And I think like it was odd because, like Aaron said, like the first match was such a tone setter, and I think I don't like it. Just the lack of reaction for this match was like you could super tell, like
It was quiet.
yeah,
Especially after an opener like the women's fight, right?
Yeah. You're like up here, and then 20 minutes later,
Snooze
you're
fest.
like down here asleep on your phone.
yeah.
Like I didn't even see the finish. I looked up when I heard the bell, the 1, 2, 3.
You want to know what the whack part was? Like, there was actually like one or two pretty cool spots towards the end that like, if it was a better match throughout, or like was able to use the fucking energy better or whatever, like people would have gotten like happy about him. Because usually when there's a Survivor Series match, you don't use both rings, you don't use that like middle one or anything in the middle
Mm-hmm.
matches after. And this one they actually did. Like that fool took a fucking skull crusher to the dome, on the middle like metal part, and like that got no, it was a snooze fest. Everyone was like,
Yeah.
like
It was
everyone.
something that should have been like, oh, he
Yeah,
used the metal part, but like,
But nah.
yeah.
Yawn.
It was interesting.
All right. Any closing arguments or any closing thoughts about this snooze fest?
Shout out Shinsuke. That's all I'm gonna
shut out. Yeah, prove me wrong.
say.
There you go. All right. Challenge accepted. All right. Next match is Braun Breaker with 2Ks, Sheamus, and Ludwig Ig Kaiser.
Yeah.
This is actually a good shot here. Aaron, how were the spots in this match?
Like you see the picture that's up. That's
Yeah.
pretty much that sums up the whole match. It was just hard hitting. I want to say high flying because they're not high flyers, but like they were, how to explain it? Like it just runs towards each other full speed with like
All gas, no
spears,
brakes.
yeah, and chops and like this match had everything.
And
What do you? Okay, go ahead on.
and I was gonna say like they're not high flyers, but there's times like what's pictured where these fools would try to fly and they're like fucking 300 pounds. Like I remember there was one where Braun Breaker literally like fucking you see him come off the screen and he's like coming from up here, and fucking like runs into fucking Braun or like Ludwig or something. It was wild.
So this match, I remember talking to you guys this match as it was happening. So Sheamus has held every title except this one, right? Except the Intercontinental title, right?
Yep.
Now, you guys sent me a video, which I forgot to suggest it, but maybe it would have been cool if you could have played it right now, where during the final pin, people were rooting for Sheamus, like they wanted Sheamus to win, and when he lost, there was like a groan, like there was like, oh,
Yep.
like people were really rooting hard for Sheamus.
And that's been going on for the past 2 years. Like Sheamus was fighting for that title in another triple threat at WrestleMania 39, and again, the whole stadium was behind Sheamus. And when he was setting up for his kick, you just feel the people like, oh, here it is, and then when he loses, you just hear that Oh,
letdown.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was interesting because I had never been a Sheamus guy up until literally that match where the fucking crowd was getting hella into Sheamus, like hella into it. So it's like you're there and like you fucking have no choice to be like Sheamus, Sheamus.
I mean, yeah, that's what I remember. Like, it caught me off guard, but then to hear the reaction towards Sheamus, because it felt like the match was supposed to be hyping up somebody else, or because I'm a newbie here, and so this is my first time watching all three of these guys, and I thought, and maybe I'm wrong, but I thought the focus of the match was trying to hype the other two guys. But then later on, you guys explained to me, no, like Sheamus is really trying to, he's really trying to get this belt. This is the only one he hasn't gotten. And
Yeah.
so I'm going to be real with you guys. I really enjoyed this match, but I really enjoyed watching Sheamus. I thought he was a good performer. I thought he
Yeah.
put on a good show.
Yes. He can any match. It could be a Monday Night Raw, a SmackDown, a, a dark match, or PLE. He's gonna bring it.
He actually did Edge's retirement match, which I thought was like really interesting and really dope. It was actually a banger on SmackDown.
So how did the stadium receive this match after that snooze fest prior? What do
It
you guys
was
think?
day and night compared to the match before. It's just again everyone was behind Sheamus, and we had this hope that Sheamus was finally gonna get the title that he hasn't won yet, and the whole match, even spots that Braun Breaker was doing and Kaiser, like they would do cool spots and the crowd would react.
Mhm.
So it was it made the crowd being involved makes the a match 10 times better.
100%. And like for me, like one of the coolest things was like Aaron said, like it was every single spot that was getting a crowd reaction, and like one of the dopest things about that match was there's this lady that was sitting next to me that like she had just told me that that was her first show like ever and that she had never like done any chants like that, but she was doing all of the chants, like even like if it was her first show she like had never once interacted, never once did it. She was like a grown woman going whoo 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 with the Braun Breaker like spots, you know, she was having the time of her life, you know, with this triple threat match. And I think that's like the epitome of a banger of a match, bro. Is that like she's like someone that has never really been in a live wrestling show, never, no one that's never watched a wrestling show could be involved and learn those chants. So that was really cool, and I thought like it's perfectly captures how that stadium was rocking. Because if someone that didn't know anything was chanting their heart out, imagine the people that like have been watching wrestling for their whole lives. Like that was perfect.
I want to say two things. The first is I thought Sheamus, because this is a intercontinental match, a championship title match. I thought that he might be a little too big for fighting for that title. Even though the other guys were good, like they put on a good show, I thought Sheamus. I don't know why. I just felt like this guy was cut from a different cloth. Even now, that maybe he could aspire, or maybe they can, I don't know, use him to try to get a little bit more. And then this is the point I wanted to make about wrestling. And I got this actually from listening to you guys talk, is that with wrestling, it almost seems like the show, you're a part of the show. You're a part of the performance with the spots, right? With the with the finishers, with the things people chant, like you feel invested in, and because you invest that kind of emotion into it, you make the show that much better, right? Whereas with like maybe live sports, whether or not you yell or not, I mean, it really, you know what I mean? Maybe you feel a part of the show, maybe you don't. You know, things are going to happen, whatever, regardless. But I don't know if you guys are following, or I don't know if this is making sense, but that's just what I feel with wrestling, where you're actually a part of the show, and your emotions and your involvement can contribute to your enjoyment and everybody else's enjoyment.
Yeah, and wrestlers talk about that in interviews. Like they need the crowd reaction, either a boo or a yay, because they play off of that. If they're doing something that's not working and they hear the
Mhm.
crowd not reacting, like, oh, we gotta change something to fix this.
All right, fellas. Any parting words? Any closing thoughts for this IC title match?
Banger
Triple
Banger.
threat.
after yeah, we said it most.
Would you guys say the match of the night?
I would say so.
Yeah, bro. I could, yeah. Like, just in terms of pure wrestling, of course. Like, this is just a classic wrestling match. The other ones are just, as they say, gimmick matches.
All right, let's pivot. Let's move on to the next one. Gunther versus Damian Priest. This is a World Heavyweight Championship title match. Um, Omar, what are your opinions on Gunther?
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
Oh God. Don't even get me started. I'll say it 2 words. Stock wrestler. I'll look it directly into the camera for this one. Gunther is a stock wrestler, bro. Overrated. I don't know. It's like if he wins off of one more sleeper hold, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Or one more mid Batista bomb, and I'm gonna look into the camera again. You are not Batista. Like that's it's that simple. Like yeah. But that's it. That's all. That's that. Those are my words on Gunther. I'm a Damian
All right,
Priest fan.
Aaron, I'm gonna ask
Um.
you. Wait. What's your opinion on Damian Priest?
God, bro. I just I don't want to say I don't like him, but I don't like him. Like I'm not invested. I'm not connected. I'm not convinced from this dude.
So if
If
this guy had a banner, it would say Damian Priest, and then what would it say underneath?
I can do better.
No, steals everyone's moves.
I yeah, I'm not convinced. Like his promos, I don't know the way he talks. I don't know if it's the way he talks or the way he delivers promos, but it just doesn't convince me. I mean, his in-ring performance is good. You know, he has a like Omar was telling me. I think he has like a background in what was it, fighting or
Martial
something
arts,
like that,
something like
martial
that.
arts.
He'd be striking.
Yeah, but just I don't know.
Well, today we were matching the Saturday Night Heat or whatever it is called, and every time you did a move, you would say something in particular. Every time, what would you say?
It's just somebody else's move.
You just stole
Like
somebody's.
the razor's edge, the choke slam. He kind of like tweaked where he just lands on his butt, but it's the choke slam.
The rock bottom. I
The
remember seeing
rock
the rock
bottom.
bottom.
He even
All
had
right,
the old
Omar, what do
school.
you think of Gunther's sleeper holds?
Oh God, bro! Like I think one or my brother said it the best, bro. That's where matches go to die, bro. Every time there's a fucking sleeper hold, I'm like, oh God, dude. Like it's just why? Like, are we in the 1950s? Like, what are we doing, bro? You got people like Sol Ruka. You got people like look at Braun Breaker flying everywhere, like that. Oh look, and that even changed the whole. This is for Aaron. This is gonna make Aaron happy right here. Watch.
I I did that on
He
purpose.
did this on purpose. Yeah, he 100% did this shit on purpose.
You
Look.
know what? You know what, Omar? Do you remember those toys that you used to get? They were just like stock wrestlers, like little toys in
That
Mexico, and they would
that's
be
him.
like this.
They don't even
That's
move. They don't, you know, like they're hella stiff, bro. Like their arms don't move. That is literally what this fool is. And then we know when you bite off the hands, or that was just me, I guess. That's what this fool looks like.
Any parting words from
I,
Gunther?
in terms of the match itself, like I actually thought this was like a good old school technical matchup. That like really showcased both of their ability just to like wrestle, just on a fucking classic sense. Like even though I don't like Gunther, like he does his snively heel thing pretty well. And like there he was able to work that injury, all of that stuff. It was just the classic old school like, oh, this guy's technical, smart, and gonna destroy like the opponent. And then it also did a good job of having Damian Priest take the L, but not weakening his character in any shape, way, or form, because he did it. He took the L through interference and because of an injury and shit like that. And he had a lot of cool spots where the crowd was chanting. And actually, one thing I will say about the stadium here is that it was Gunther was so over during that whole match, and he was getting a whole lot of reaction from that Canadian crowd. So that was
What do you,
uh, even though I wasn't a part of that chanting crowd, I was booing very
I
loudly.
was.
It was still cool to witness and be a part of it.
so for us newbies, what does over mean?
That the crowd likes him. That the WWE universe messes with him, as
Get
they would say.
yeah, gets a reaction. Either it's a boo or a yay. If you get a reaction, you're over.
Okay. All right. So that's the goal of every wrestler, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And the
I would actually think, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, and I'm sorry if you're not going to like what I'm going to say. I would. I don't know if Gunther and Damian Priest, maybe they do make a good fight because today it was a good match. But I would like to see Sheamus in there a little bit. Um,
I'm
I think Sheamus brings the wood. So
I mean that match I mentioned earlier, that triple threat that Sheamus was in, Gunther was involved. It was Gunther, Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus. But they're all three hard hitting, so that's what made it a good match.
okay, all right, guys. Let's move on to the main event. Oh, any parting shots for Gunther or Damian Priest? Priest?
I mean, for me, it was a good match. I like this the slow pace of Gunther. Maybe that's why I like Gunther, and also I'm more of a heel person. The slow, beating down on a body part. Um, to me, that's I like watching that. So maybe that's why I like Gunther a lot.
Okay. Elmore, any parting shots?
Nah, it was a good match. Stock match. But yeah, it was good.
All right. So the main event: OG Bloodline and Timu Bloodline. Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk, yawn, versus a new bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Bronson Reed, Tamatonga, and Tonga Loa. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna throw in my 2 cents in. Um, a lot of these guys had no idea, had no business being this athletic. A lot of these guys jumping off the top rope and doing all the moves from the turnbuckle and all these flips and going through tables and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that part. I didn't enjoy the Roman Reigns entrance. I thought that was weird. I thought they locked the door. I understand it. But I thought they botched the execution in that they pretended to drag his leg, but then they didn't. Like they almost let Roman Reigns climb it. It was just they should have just let him go through the shit. You know what I mean? Like I understand the game. I understand what they were trying to do. Um, but I enjoyed the putazos. I did. But go ahead, guys. Give me a quick recap, or
I'll
what are your thoughts of this match?
I'll ask you something really quick. How did you think this compared um to the women's war game, just overall?
I like the women's war game, war games match, quite a bit. But I'm not gonna lie, I also enjoyed this match. The part that I didn't enjoy so much was the Roman Reigns entrance. I don't know why. I just thought it was a little much. I enjoyed this one, especially looking at this picture. I liked it. I liked it. I
Yeah,
thought I thought I thought they were both the best match. No, because I like the triple threat too. But I thought this was up there. This was up there.
yeah. Even though the women's and men's, it's a war games match. It's the same thing, but it's at the same time it's different because the women's, like I said, it was announced a week earlier, so it didn't have a luxury of a storyline, so they use spots. But for the men, it's more storyline based because of the Sami Zayn and the Roman history, the bloodline. Like it has more of a background where they don't need spots, even though they used quite a bit, but it's just not. It wasn't the same match. If you understand what I'm saying.
And I
I
thought that
think
was
so.
super cool because like the storylines were just so deep, like and so like multifaceted. Like you didn't know if CM Punk was actually going to be the fifth guy up until like a week or two before, and most people, including myself, thought it was going to be Seth Rollins potentially. But like within this, it's like there's so much that could happen, like a potential CM Punk and Roman Reigns feud. Like the favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk, like there's a whole lot, like a Jacob Fatu Roman Reigns match. Like there's just so many layers to this. And then Bronson Reed out of nowhere, like being a part of the new bloodline was like super cool because for me Bronson Reed is like amazing and probably had the coolest spot of the match, including like as well as Jimmy. So yeah.
There was a lot of activity here. There was a lot of action.
Yeah, see,
Um,
if like an average fan, say like a first timer, is watching this, like they're gonna have no idea what's going on, and they're gonna compare it to the women's match where there was a bunch of spots, cool spots. They're gonna say, "Oh, that's better." But this match was also good if you understand what's going in between, storylines, because there's a lot happening in between these wrestlers.
so what you're saying is, if I had known if somebody like me, not necessarily me, but somebody like me, had I known or been familiar with the storylines, I might have enjoyed this match more. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, like this storyline goes back 3 years, 2020,
Damn.
Well,
when Roman returned.
and even longer if you're a big CM Punk fan like Aaron, and seeing CM Punk come back after
Yeah,
a big like match like this, like that's like a big deal because just last year CM Punk returned for the first time in Survivor Series, so like it also carries back that storyline, so that's dope.
I remember watching him coming back and people getting pissed off, like other wrestlers. Now, I'm going to ask two things. How did the stadium receive this match? But I want to sidetrack a little bit, and I know Aaron met one of these wrestlers one time. Tell us
yep.
a little bit about that.
Jacob Fatu,
Where'd
the
you
the
meet him?
the Samoan werewolf. I met him at a New Japan show here in San Jose. So every year, New Japan has this show at the Civic Center, and he was booked, and it was me and my friend Fernando. Shout out Fernando. We were at the show, and I believe
No shout out, Fernando.
I think
We're gonna touch him up.
he opened the match, and like it was like 6-man tag teams. I don't remember, but I remember watching it, and this dude was doing fucking crazy flips off the turnbuckle, doing suicide dives, and then I remember Fernando was like, "What the fuck? If it was like 300 pounds, why is he doing that?" And then I looked him up on my phone, like, "Oh, he's related to Roman." Like, imagine this dude in the bloodline. And then match is over, and we went. I think we went to the bar after that match because there was another match going on. We went to the bar, and this dude just walked in, chilling. He asked for a beer. He was just standing around. He came up to us like, "Hey, what's up, guys? What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "I'm just chilling, watching the show." Like he was just a normal dude. Like you see the how crazy he is on TV, but he's literally a regular dude. And then he
so
just
I
left.
so I was able to recognize him based on what you called him, the Samoan werewolf. I thought he put on a really. I think a lot of guys put on a really good show this match, but I thought he really. Is he the guy that was gonna do a move off a turnbuckle and I think his knee buckled or something like that? Was that
Yeah,
him?
yeah, I think he slipped.
Yeah, I thought he got seriously hurt. Omar, what do you think about this match? What opinions do you have?
I thought like outside of the storylines, the deepness of that, like I just thought the spots themselves were cool, and even like the storyline spots within them were pretty dope. From like CM Punk like pulling Roman Reigns, but shout out to Bronson Reed who freaking took a tsunami off of the cages. Like that was something like me and Aaron were talking about as soon as Bronson Reed got announced for the match. And it was amazing that we got to see that shit live and apparently see Bronson Reed break his like ankle while doing that spot.
Shattered.
Shattered, bro. Yeah, shattered. And the Jimmy spot was cool. I think the Usos themselves like were put in early in the match and like really showcased to I think everyone that like their main event ready and that they could do sick ass spots like on their own and even together. And I thought that was really cool because Jimmy's entrance was like amazing as always, or not Jimmy, Jay, and I'm a huge Jimmy fan too, so that was cool to see him get the spotlight with his splash that is featuring in the upper corner over there.
I did want to ask you guys that, and maybe we can segue into that. and maybe you can include this in this episode, but you guys caught some live footage of the entrance, and you could see the entire stadium being into the entrance with the yeet, yeet. And so, who do you guys think had the best? Who had the best reaction? Who got the best crowd reaction in terms of entrances?
I could let Aaron go ahead.
It's just Jey Uso. It's literally no one else. Like,
Comes close.
yeah, like how the fans interact with his entrance with, bouncing
Yeah.
the arms up and down, and him standing or sitting on top of the cage, and just like we were sitting up top, so we had a good view of the whole arena, and all you see is hands doing this. It's just a cool visual of an arena.
Just
The shot
yeeting
you
all
guys
over
took
themselves.
capture that perfectly. Go ahead.
Nah, it was just the whole arena yeeting all over themselves. It was great.
Hey, that's how yeeting. Okay. So, what do you guys think of this match? Any closing opinions here?
Um,
Any
I just
closing thoughts?
I just thought like I had told Aaron, like after the match, like there was such high expectations for this match, like The Rock coming back and those types of things. That sometimes it was easy to get lost in the fact that it was just a dope match. Just all of those fools pulling up together, throwing hands, and like the people being in it, like fools like Jacob Fatu that Aaron just saw at like a New Japan Wrestling show that you would never have imagined in a wrestling like in WWE. Fools like Tamatanga and Tangaloa, who are like indie fools that are like part of the bloodline. Solo Sokoa having his own bloodline. On top of that, CM Punk like being in a Survivor Series, I think was just like dope in general. Even if like everyone's big expectations, like The Rock and John Cena coming back, didn't really show up. I think this match just showed up in general with every single person having their time to shine. So yeah,
Yeah, like Omar said, like people expect like before a match or a pay-per-view, expect like cool things to happen. Like there was rumors going on, oh, the Rock is gonna show up at Survivor Series, and when he doesn't, it's like overshadows the whole match. Like, oh, he didn't show up, but like the match was good. Like
Like
even
a
after
letdown?
yeah, like the match like it teased a lot of things too, like a Roman and CM Punk. And when the match was over and CM Punk walked out and hugged Paul Heyman, he's like, I'm gonna need that favor soon. Like it just leaves you with a lot of questions, and people easily forget that because oh, the
You're
Rock
waiting
didn't
for The
show up.
Rock?
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you think that takes away from enjoying the match in front of them? Is that and that people are not necessarily just looking to enjoy the match, but any other people that can come out besides the people that are performing? I guess you could say, and that expectation that might create, and so that it takes away. Right? Is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
and like I think the perfect example of that is like when I was telling Aaron, like when we were walking out the arena, I heard this guy talking about like, oh, Roman doesn't look as jacked, like he's just a part timer, he needs to show up more. It's like, dude, like Roman not showing up every week makes it more impactful when he does show up. But on top of that, like it gives other fools like time to like have time on TV, because every time Roman shows up, he's gonna do a 20-minute segment, like, and then when he's doing a 20-minute segment, y'all be complaining about, oh, it's too long. He needs to give guys to other fools or give time to other fools. So it's like, like just fucking enjoy it. Fool, Roman Reigns looks jacked, like fucking, like they're fine.
Can you guys talk to us a little bit about the guy that with the rock and the hat?
you start off Omar, and I'll finish it with
Bro, that shit was legendary because we had just walked out of the arena and um, we were walking to check if the WWE store was still open after the fucking show was over. And we see this guy walking with his like with his crew with his two friends and his girl, and I see him like take off his hat and he's like, "Babe, I brought out a new hat. Look," and he shows the hat, like he puts the hat right in front of her. He's like, "For the Rock," and like it was just hilarious. And Aaron actually has a fucking prelude, a fucking like origin story to that film.
Yeah. So we were walking out the arena, and then Omar he like dropped something. He's like, "Oh, let's go back and get it." So he
Yeah.
went and got it, and we were
Mhm.
walking back. I saw that same dude being held down by like two of his friends, and he was drunk too. He was trying to go back into the arena. He's like, "No, no, he's not coming back. Come on, let's go."
The
Like,
Rock.
yeah, like, but at the time, I didn't know what was going on, but like, I took note of it, and then literally like 10 minutes later, when we're checking to see if the store was still open, that same dude walks by and he's like, "Look, I got this hat for the Rock." It's just,
It was
it was just
real.
so funny.
It was real
We
anguish.
busted out laughing. I kind of feel bad because we kind of laughed in his face.
Yeah, but it was too good, bro. Like it was too real. Like it
He
was
was down bad.
yeah, he was down bad, bro.
And the hat just
Yeah,
symbolized everything.
he's like,
Look,
"Look,
look,
for the Rock."
All right,
and
fellas.
you know it was real because he was telling his girl, but like that was like real, like anguish.
There was true pain behind his voice.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing thoughts about the main event or the entire event in general? Actually, before that, you guys said the Uso kid, right, had the best entrance in terms of reaction. What about the match ending? Which which end to the match got the best reaction from the arena?
I would say, even though it wasn't a positive one, but the triple threat, because again, everybody was behind Sheamus, and then when he was building up to his kick, and he hit it, and then when the ref is counting the whole arena, you just hear 1, 2, and then you know the ref
Yeah.
gets yanked, and everybody's like, "Oh!" But you can feel that disappointment, and then when Sheamus gets pinned, and then again you can feel the room, the air leave the room. It's just very disappointing. It's not a positive one, but like it's like what wrestlers work for is that
Yeah.
reaction.
In that regard, it was a good one, right? Yeah, go ahead, Omar.
Yeah.
Yep, and for me, I just think just the reaction, like towards the end of all of the spots of the match of the main event, the Bloodline match, were pretty dope. Like the crowd reaction for the tsunami and the Uso splash and the lineup where everyone hit solo for the finisher was pretty dope. So um, yeah, I think that ending was a perfect way to end the PLE.
All right, and then I want you guys to talk to us a little bit about the chants. It's my understanding that you guys started one or two at the event.
Uh, ye, um,
Aaron,
yeah,
who started it?
I mean, Omar started a Damian Priest chant with another little girl.
yeah,
What was
bro.
it?
Notice he said another little girl. It was two of us. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah. No one liked Damian
I was
Priest in
like,
that in
let's
that
go
arena.
Damien Priest, and she'd be like, let's go Damien.
That's what I dealt with the
Just
whole match.
just me and her going back and forth.
So
Uh,
what chant was it?
no, I literally was the only one in the arena chanting for Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like that's a real story. But no, the coolest chant I think to be a part of, even though it was pretty short lived, was when Sammy had I forgot who it was on the corner, and the crowd started doing the soccer chant. The so that was like pretty cool because the crowd was rocking. Um, but yeah.
And Aaron, did you start a chant?
No, I did not.
Oh, I thought he did. No?
No.
All right, man. All right. Any closing thoughts? Any parting shots that you guys want to have regarding your trip to Survivor Series War Games?
I mean, besides the United States Championship match, it's a solid card, solid PLE. Even though people were disappointed that the Rock didn't show up, but like the main event left me with a lot of questions, which is good.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
And I would say that like having seen like people's review of this PLE that weren't necessarily there live and that were talking smack about the Canadian crowd and saying that they weren't as good as the international crowd, the other international crowds, yada yada. I actually thought the crowd was really cool and really like amazing to be a part of. And like they, although there wasn't like the ongoing chants, like maybe like the France crowds or those type of things, like the spots that were there, it was a packed house, and whenever we needed to cheer, everyone was cheering. So. I thought the Canada crowds held it down, and one of the coolest moments, even though I'm not a Canadian, was when the Canadian national anthem was playing
Oh
in the
yeah,
very beginning, bro. They were going in.
yeah,
They went fucking hard. And so like I would say that just the Canada people, I was a guest in your guys' country and in that crowd, but you guys held it down, and I would say
yeah.
that it was a dope crowd.
Yeah, Canadian people, well, at least in the arena, they're loud and passionate. Like Omar mentioned the national anthem. Like when I go to sports games here in the U.S. and people sing the U.S. national anthem, like it didn't compare to the Canadians singing the national anthem. Like it did catch me off guard. I think I recorded a little bit of it on my phone, but like it did catch me off guard how passionate and loud it got for the anthem.
That's a good closing. That's a good way to close this segment, man. Well, I guess this about wraps it up. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for allowing me to be part of your project here and your vision. Best of luck to you guys. And this is pretty awesome, man. This is really dope. I'm glad you guys are doing this.
Appreciate it.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Dale, dale, dale. Make sure este domingo, Small Package Wrestling.